This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and the lock I have for you today is another Mul-T-Lock MT5 Plus Mortise cylinder. I have the key right here. You can see the 5 pin-in-pin chambers, the groove that controls the 5 sliders, which have multiple false gates and 1 true gate each, into which the sidebar drops, and then we have the alpha spring mechanism up here. I just got this lock in the mail today. I picked it once and it gave me a heck of a time. So I figured we would try picking it again on camera so you can see me struggle with the lock, because this guy really put up a fight. Okay, first thing we do is press all our sliders to the far right. Okay, I think I got them where I want them. Let me try pushing with this. There we go. Okay, we have all of them to the right, and the first thing we do is check that alpha spring mechanism. Got to click out of him, and I know from the first time I picked it, the sliders like to bind first, which is different from other Mul-T-Lock MT5 Pluses. Usually the pins bind first, which might be why this gave me so much trouble the first time through. Okay, I'm on the first one. Definitely bound up. Okay, got a big click out of him, and I think he's set. Okay, 2, got a click there, and he's loose now. I'm happy with where he is. Okay, 3. 3 feels like there's some movement to him, so I'm going to leave him alone. 4 feels bound, definitely. Okay, nice click out of 4. And then 5. Okay, little click out of 5 and some movement there. Let me check all these sliders again. Okay, I think we might have the sliders picked. Let me make sure I didn't lose the alpha spring while we did that. I think he's still set. Okay, let's go to the regular pin-in-pin chambers now. Looking for binding outer pins, and one just gave me a nice big click. Because the sliders are set, they're actually in the way of my pick, so I have to go around them when moving from pin to pin. Okay, nothing on 2. Click out of 3. Nothing on 4. Okay. I think we're getting all we're getting out of 5. Okay, back to 1. Okay, another click out of him on the outer pin, and that's because of the, we're getting multiple clicks on the outer pins because of the counter milling that you find in these MT5 Plus cores. Another click out of 2. Another click out of 3. Okay, nice click out of 4 and a tiny little bit of movement on the core. I just got the inner pin on 4 while I was there. Nothing on 5, back to 1. Okay, I think I got the inner pin on 1. And I think he's set. We'll see. Okay, 2. Okay, inner pin on 2 appears to be binding. Got a click out of him and felt a tiny little bit of movement on the core. Moving on to 3. Having a tough time telling. He's actually a really high set pin. I'm having a little bit of difficulty telling if that inner pin is set or not, but I'd say it is. Going to 4. Okay, we just went into a really deep false set. We probably just have inner driver pins left. Okay, got one on pin 1. Got one on pin 2. I think I got something on 3, 4, and 5, and we're open. Okay, I'll tell you, the first time I picked that, it was much, much harder than that. Okay, so I think I got tripped up by the fact that the slider's bound first the first time around, but I think we're in good shape for this one. I just have to keep in mind for future picks that it's not always a rule that the pins pick before the sliders. Okay, to get the cam mechanism off the back, we have 2 Phillips screws. And then I'm actually going to lock this guy back up, I think, and use the key to gut this to make it a little bit neater. Okay, let's see if we can get these pins back in. And actually, there we go. That's locked up. Where's the key? Got it here. And a slider. Okay, we should have a ball bearing on the side. Let's drop that out. And then let's take the sidebar out. Put that in slots 8. And let me get the sidebar springs as well while we're here so I don't lose them. Okay. Now let's drop the pin-in-pin chambers out. There's 1, 2, oh, not sure which went in which slot. I think this one goes over here. We didn't quite get the outer pin out on 3. There's 3, outer pin on 4, outer pin on 5, and alpha spring mechanism. Okay, let me organize these a little bit more before we go forward. Okay, let's take the sliders out next. There's number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let me organize these so you can see the false gates and the true gate. Okay, let's pull our driver pins out now. Actually, while we're here, let's get that little half moon of drill protection out of the front so you can see that. And here's driver pin number 1. Got some nice big springs here. Number 2. 3, 4, 5, and the last one should just be a standard pin for the alpha spring mechanism. And there it is in slot 6. Okay, let's get this set up, and I'll give you a close-up of everything here. Okay, I don't see anything special in the core that's worth giving you a close-up of. Let's take a look at these pins. Okay, all of our normal pin-in-pin key pins are standard, both inner and outer. We have standard outer driver pins and spooled inner driver pins. And if we actually look at the inside of the key pins, let me actually give you a close-up here. You can see, actually these don't have it. That's unusual. This is the first MT5 I've seen that doesn't have counter-milled outer key pins. Okay, very interesting. That's a feature that I was expecting to deal with, but didn't have to on this. Okay, so those spooled inner driver pins don't have the corresponding undercuts on the outer key pins. Interesting. Okay, above all of that, you can see we have our sliders with the multiple false gates and one true gate in each of them. Then we have our alpha spring mechanism in slot 6. Some additional drill protection in slot 7 with that little crescent, and then we have our sidebar in slot 8 and a ball bearing that's there for drill protection. Moving over to the core itself, start on the top. You can see we have a ball bearing for drill protection right in front of the pin stack. We have counter milling in each of the 5 pin-in-pin chambers. Nothing unusual in the back at the alpha spring mechanism. You can see we have the holes here that the sliders go into. Nothing unusual there. We have the slot for the sidebar that fits into the sliders and a ball bearing to protect that from drilling. And then we have the ends of 2 rods you can see above and below the keyway for drill protection, and this little slot there into which this ball bearing fits, again for drill protection. Okay, so that's everything I have for you on this Mul-T-Lock MT5 Plus. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you.